Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Pro Wrestling on... One second. There we go. Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited. As we're here, it's Friday, and tonight was Friday Night Smackdown. It looked like stuff froze up on me when it first started. That's why I kind of was like, wait. No, we're good. We are good. But with that, we're here. It's Friday. We're talking Smackdown. Kind of like what I said about Raw. Good show, but wouldn't consider it like a really good go-home show. Because honestly, really, other than the Miz and I guess there isn't really a SmackDown match other than Ray and I think if you think about it, Ray in theory is the only SmackDown match on this card. So it's not like they were building a lot of stuff for the Payback show, and this did not feel like a show telling you and hyping you to what's the word I'm looking for? Buy this pay-per-view. Like the show ends and they're ready to go off the air, and Michael Cole goes, "Oh, and hey, don't forget, tomorrow we'll be live on Peacock with WWE Payback." And I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. So I don't know exactly if it was a, what's the word I'm looking for? If it was a regular SmackDown, I'd say it was a good regular SmackDown. But as a go-home show, I thought it was just an okay show. For a go-home show. For a real SmackDown, I thought it was good. For a regular SmackDown. But we'll get into all of that. We'll talk about all that here in just a short bit. With that, I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you are watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can either help us out by hitting that donate button down below or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel, one of two different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime. Because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month. And I'd greatly appreciate it if you did right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember to head over to YouTube, hit that join button, and become a channel member. Finally, head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. Whether you're getting in on their PlayStation sale, they got Last of Us Part 1, Returnals, Spider-Man Miles Morales, God of War 2018, all on sale right now. They also got Aliens have been added to Dead by Daylight. You can get all of that and even claim the free game, which is Cave Story Plus. When you do, use this code. It doesn't cost you or do anything other than support us. You use this code, PW Unlimited, at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. Hell, get into the new season of Fortnite that just dropped last week. Get John Cena, get Bianca Belair, get Becky Lynch, all in Fortnite using this code, PWU NLIMITED, at checkout, whether that's on the Epic Game Store or through one of the other game launchers like Fortnite, Fall Guys, or Rocket League on your PlayStation, your Xbox, and your Nintendo Switch, and so much more. But with that, guys, we've got SmackDown to talk about. As far as the show does go, show comes on the air, and we immediately hear, I want the out comes 16-time WWE World Champion John Cena. Cena comes out, huge pop from this crowd that sustains through his entire entrance. Cena runs to one side, acknowledges the crowd, comes back and goes, "Hey, we got Stu here with us. You guys can't see him, but Stu's here with us. So Stu, let's go to work." Pulls up the towel, does the salute, down to the ring. Also, you look at Cena. Cena got the crew cut. He's got a hat on, but you can tell he got the crew cut. That means Cena's here to stay. Cena is going to put in the work because Cena got the haircut. Cena got the short hair. Cena got the John Cena, I'm going to take this hat off hair. So the crowd's going wild. And they start chanting, Cena, Cena, Cena. You would think they hadn't seen him at all this year. You would think he hadn't been around at all. And so they're going. Finally, they calm down. And Cena said, from now on, because he's going to be here for a couple months, he's going to take every opportunity he can to tell these fans, thank you. And that while he's here for the next couple months, he's going to give it everything he's got. Cena talked about how he's going to wrestle in India next week for the very first time. Cena said that he's going to host. He said, this is funny because we knew about this last night. But he said, right before, he's like, I got a little bit of an announcement. Right before I went through that curtain, well, I was informed that tomorrow night I'm going to be hosting Payback. So John Cena officially will be on the Payback show. This is, again, when John said he's going to give it all he's got and give it everything he's got to the fans to give back to them. Cena said that they're going to give a epic Smackdown tonight as we have many different things announced. And then we hear this new music that I'm like, who is this? What is this? Then it cuts over and you see the screen that says Jimmy Uso. So Jimmy Uso's got new music. Jimmy is coming down to the ring, interrupting John Cena. So the crowd's booing Jimmy, and they start chanting, we want Jay, we want Jay, we want Jay. And he's like, you gonna give the crowd what they want or what? Jimmy then asked Cena what he was doing there. And the crowd kept chanting for Jimmy. And it's like, damn, these people really love they were booing Jimmy, chanting for Jay still. And I'm like, damn, yeah, Jay's gotten over big. Jimmy then said that he did not like all that's going down. He said that he saved his brother, and he'll save his brother 10 times out of 10 if he has to. Jimmy said he did it because he loves his brother. Jimmy reiterated that he didn't want Jay to become corrupt like Roman or even John Cena. But the difference between Roman and John Cena is John still somehow does this with a smile on his face. Cena then cut Jimmy off and made fun of his own fashion sense. Jimmy responded by saying, Jimmy then said that Cena takes a lot of what Roman does, again, like I said, with a smile. Crowd then starts chanting for Cena. Cena, Cena, Cena. Cena then said Jimmy had a lot on his mind. And Jimmy has made some rash decisions. Cena then says that he's wanted to say something to Jimmy for like 3 years now. He looks him right in the face and goes, the wrong Uso quit. And this crowd's just like, ooh. Cena then said, take that. Jimmy went to super kick him. John catches it. John throws the leg down, grabs him. Yeah-too! AA attitude adjustment. Takes out Jimmy Uso. John Cena's music plays. He throws the shirt off into the crowd. And there we go. John lays out Jimmy. Jimmy didn't have a good night tonight. More didn't than anything. Kayla Braxton's in the back, and she welcomes in her guests, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, and she says, so, what do you guys think of John Cena being the host of Payback tomorrow? And they were like, oh, it's whatever. Theory's like, yeah, you mean that guy that I beat at WrestleMania? And we don't care about him. We're going to go out there and beat Ray and Santos. And then he says something about Mr. One Leg in Spanish, whatever. And he says this in Spanish. And then Grayson goes, you know that means he's one-legged in Spanish, right? So, yeah. Match itself, Grayson Waller and Austin Theory against Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar. Fine opener. Fine to good. I would say it's almost really good. Like, this is a solid opening match. Went 8 minutes. So Escobar and Waller started the match. Mysterio did quickly tag in, and Theory ran into attack. But Theory and Waller ended up on the outside. Escobar then threw Mysterio over the top to the outside onto the heels. The show then went to a commercial break. When it returned, Waller was working over Mysterio inside the ring. Theory then tagged in, continuing to work over Mysterio with some punches, kicks, and then Waller tagged in. Theory held Mysterio, and Waller hit Mysterio. But then Mysterio moved, and Waller hit Theory. Now here's the thing. Waller hits Theory, but he doesn't get mad at him. He doesn't get mad at him because he knew it was an accident. Yeah, we've seen too much this week in wrestling where a partner accidentally hits the partner because the opponent moves, and then the partner that got hit gets mad. Well, if you're paying god dang attention, then you know it's not the other partner's fault. It was an accident. And that's what happened tonight. Chris Waller realized just an accident. So Escobar came in and landed a crossbody on Waller for a 2. Escobar landed a Frankensteiner from the top to get another 2. Theory and Mysterio then both entered, and things kind of broke down from there. Theory went for a chop block on Mysterio, but Escobar pushed Mysterio out of the way to take himself down. Waller then ran in, hit a rolling stunner, and pinned Escobar to pick up the victory. So there we go. The heels get the win, which, if this is WWE logic, that's telling us Ray's retaining tomorrow night. Adam Pearce is in the back trying to talk to Michin Mia when Jimmy Uso just rushes in and interrupts, and he's like, excuse me? Adam Pearce, that is. Pearce essentially told Jimmy, yeah, I'm not talking to you right now. I'm talking with her. And Jimmy reluctantly did that. We then went back to the ring where Bobby Lashley made his entrance. The show then went to a commercial break, and when it came back, Michin was bitching to the OC about Jimmy Uso. AJ would walk up, and he was like, what's going on? And she's like, God damn, Jimmy Uso disrespected me. I was in there trying to talk to Adam Pearce, and he just interrupts like I'm not even there and just tries. And AJ's like, excuse me? He didn't disrespect Michin. And he's pissed off. I'm going to go talk to him. We got Pitbull AJ. AJ all kinds of mad. So, Bobby Lashley's in the ring. Crowd's really pumped to see Bobby. Lashley thanked them. Lashley talked about what might be going down with him and the Street Profits. He says, I can't go anywhere without being asked, what's going on with you and the Street Profits? Lashley then said that he wants to recognize the Street Profits. And the Profits came out and made their entrance. Lashley then said that the Profits are charismatic, they're athletic, and they're aggressive. Montez would then interrupt and said that they were out here to thank Bobby. Ford says that Profits are sexy. Dawkins chimed in and said Lashley helped the Profits see the bigger picture in everything. Ford said, quote, it's nothing personal, it's just profits. Ford and Dawkins then said at the same time to Bobby Lashley, 1, 2, 3, thank you, at the same time. Lashley said that they were here to send a message to the WWE Universe. They are putting everybody and everything on notice as they are coming for power, control, and championship gold. Lashley said that they are coming for it all. Lashley's music hit, and the three of them left the ring. That was well until they got to the top of the ramp and Kevin Owens' music hit. Kevin came out looking pissed off as only Kevin Owens can. And then Sammy's music hits. Sammy and Kevin walk down to the ring, and as they're walking down to the ring, Street Profits and Bobby's still in the aisle, and the crowd's chanting, oh, 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 oh. I don't know the exact, Sammy's music. And then we hear Montez Ford just start singing Sami Zayn's music. Oh, 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 that's it. Oh, 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 oh. But it was just funny because then as Sammy walked by, he would get closer and closer and closer into Sammy's face. Oh, 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 oh. I thought it was funny. And I think it was Wade Barrett who goes, well, no, not Wade Barrett. Wade's not on this show anymore. No, it was somebody. Maybe it was Corey Graves. I don't remember which one. But one of the announcers, after they walked past the Street Profits and Montez finally stopped, they were like, oh, well, that was something to see, Cole. I think it might have been Graves. So this then ended up being Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn against the LWO's Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wilde. The match itself only went 2.5 minutes. Also, Magma Lord. There's 6 matches set for Payback. So Zayn and Wilde began the match with Zayn taking control early. Eventually, though, Wilde did land an elbow, but then Zayn came back with a clothesline. Owens tagged in and hit a swanton bomb for a 2. Del Toro then tagged in and took out Zayn while kicking Owens in the head. Ultimately, the momentum would shift with the pop-up powerbomb from Owens. Zayn then tagged in, hit a haluva kick on Del Toro, Owens then tagged back in, hit a stunner on Del Toro, and pinned him to pick up the victory. After the match, Zayn took a mic and said at Payback, Judgment Day will need to bring everything they have because it will be the fight of their lives. We then go backstage. Looks like Jimmy's about to leave when he's stopped by AJ Styles. And he's like, hey, where are you going? He's like, I'm leaving. And AJ's like, good, but you don't disrespect me chin like that anymore. And so Jimmy slightly shoves AJ. AJ then shoves Jimmy down on his ass. And then in comes the bulldozer. The freaking solo Sikoa knocks Jimmy down, or AJ down. He then looks at Jimmy and says, you don't leave the bloodline until the bloodline says you're out of the bloodline. And then Jimmy was like, not you, not Roman, not the wise man. Nobody tells me what to do. And then he walks off. So, yeah. So then we go to break, we come back, and AJ Styles is being interviewed. Styles said the bloodline thinks they run everything. Well, that's not the case. Styles said that he wants to knock Sikoa's teeth down his throat. So at first, I thought this was building to AJ and Jimmy, but then it built to AJ and Solo. The rest of the OC showed up and said Styles doesn't need to get involved in anybody else's drama. Styles said, no, the bloodline needs to be reminded whose house this is and who built it. And I'm like, oh, yes, give me that 2017 AJ Styles back. Smackdown, the house that AJ Styles built. Oh, my God, that's some of the best stuff AJ has done, especially in WWE. Give me that AJ, and boy, is Smackdown set for life. Like, that AJ is fan-freaking-tastic. When he was out there, WWE champion, this is the house that AJ Styles built. Like, that stuff was so good. He was just on another level during that run. So let me get the Miz coming out. He said that LA Knight will be competing in the biggest match of his career at Payback. The crowd drowned Miz out with LA Knight chants. Miz said that Knight, well, isn't on his level. Knight's music then hit and the crowd went wild. Not John Cena wild, but minus John Cena bigger than anybody else on the show wild. Knight walked quickly to the ring and grabbed a microphone. The crowd then chanted, LA Knight, very loudly, while Knight just looked around and let him and the Miz soak it in. He then did his catchphrase, well, let me talk to you. The crowd then blew up when he said it. Like, he says that, and they go crazy. Kind of like when Cody goes, what do you want to talk about? Well, he says, let me talk to you. And they go crazy. Knight then referenced the Miz impersonating him. But Knight said Miz has impersonated many people, including The Rock and John Cena. The one thing they all have in common, skinny old little Miz right there can't fill out their clothes. Knight said that he brought himself out of the sewers to get here, according to Miz. Knight said that he worked every job. He slept in a car, and he flubbed a couple lines here. I don't know what exactly happened, but he couldn't get it out. And then Knight started to mock the Miz. He's like, you say you got a reality show. Yeah, Miz and Mrs., you ain't even the star of that show. You're the bag handler for your wife, who's the star of that show. Knight said that he's above Miz's level. Miz responded by saying Knight has failed where Miz has succeeded. Miz talked about how Knight was on a reality show called The Hero, and he couldn't even be the hero there. He failed. Miz said that he succeeded as he's a star. Knight came back and was like, yeah, really? Okay, cool. Knight then said after Payback, he's going to send Miz home broken and battered. Miz mocked Knight for cutting promos in a hairbrush. Miz said that people love Knight because people are failures just like him. Miz said Knight has had his hopes and dreams crushed, but Knight has never given up. Miz said Knight has a chance to do something that the people will never do, succeed. Miz said he is the wrong superstar for Knight to succeed on, though. Miz brought up his past and said on Saturday, Miz is a human time traveler, and when Knight loses his confidence and popularity, Knight will go back to cutting promos in a mirror and a hairbrush like circa 2003. Knight then responded by saying that he's never quit because he doesn't know how. Knight said, while Miz lives in the past, he lives in the present. Knight said that at Payback, Miz is going to get stomped out. Knight went for his catchphrase, but Miz hit him with a skull-crushing finale, left him laying, Miz leaves. Well, Miz leaves up the ramp, and Knight says, oh no, and he runs and attacks Miz from behind on the ramp. The two then brawled until referees and everything broke it up, and the crowd starts going, LA Knight, LA Knight, LA Knight, LA Knight. This man's over like Rover. Like, they love him in every city they go to. He's got something, and we've known it for a while. I've been saying for years, maybe even all the way back to like 2013, why is this man not in WWE? He is, look at him, listen to him. He's the Vince type of guy. And he really didn't come in till, well, Vince was on his way out. So I don't know what took them so long to sign him. I know they had him back in the day, and like he was in developmental when they had like OVW and I think it was when they had OVW and what was the other one? Deep South. I'm gonna look it up really fast. He was with WWE in 2013 and 2014. Okay, so it was not as far back as I thought. But 2013, 2014. And then, so it was 2015 when I first saw him. Because when we first got the Impact, I was like, Eli Drake, who is this guy and why is he not in WWE? Like, I've been a proponent of his forever. So yeah, 2013, 14, he was with WWE. He's given the name Slate Randall. It didn't work out. He was losing to guys like Yoshitatsu, Baron Corbin, Mojo Rawley, and Mason Ryan. And then he was released in 14. So yeah, he lasted like, not even, he lasted a full year. But then he went and had his TNA run, and that's where everyone found out who he was and how good he was and his mic skills and this and that. And yeah, just, I'm shocked that it took so long, that they released him. I never saw his NXT stuff from like 2013, 2014. So I don't know if he just wasn't good and hadn't found himself yet. But yeah, once he got into TNA and he started doing his stuff there, I was like, yeah, this guy's got it. And it took almost a decade for him to get back to WWE. But I'm glad he's here. He's 100%. When you see him and you go, oh, that's a WWE guy. That's somebody that should be in WWE. That's what WWE builds their people to be. And he's already got it. So then we had Shotsy versus Bayley. Match went 9 minutes, and I don't even really have many notes for it because this match just was there. Not all that great, to be completely honest. So Shotzi, this ain't Joni Loves Chachi. Shotzi lunged straight at Bayley early on. She's like bolted down to the ring, got at Bayley. The match started off strong. Shotzi unloaded on Bayley with some right hands. Bayley then slapped Shotzi, and Shotzi just laughed at her. Bayley again. Bayley did a great job in this match as far as being scared of Shotzi. Like, Shotzi's coming out on the tank. Shotzi's running down to the ring, and they keep cutting to Bayley where she's just like she could do a better scared face than me, like, oh, shit. She was scared in a good way. And she did well. Bayley came back, though, and put some boots to Shotzi. Bayley mouthed off until Shotzi landed an enziguri. The action spilled to the outside where Shotzi ragdolled Bayley before landing a front flip splash onto Bayley to take the show to commercial. Back from the break, Bayley was working a chin lock on Shotzi, but Shotzi fought her way out until Bayley hit an elbow drop from the second rope for a 2. Shotzi at one point also went to the top rope, but Bayley cut her off. Bayley tried to grab Io Sky's title belt, and Charlotte Flair's music would hit. Bayley then got scared and said, Io, go get her! And Charlotte took her down with a couple big boots, and then Shotzi just got Bayley, hit her with a strike, and pinned her to pick up the victory. So there we go. I think Charlotte may have hit Bayley at one point too a little bit, but yeah, Shotzi gets the win with the assist from Charlotte Flair. Charlotte then gets in the ring, raises Shotzi's arm, and it looks like an adult with a child. I'm just going to say it. It looks like an adult with a child. Like, hold on. Did they post photos yet on WWE.com? Give me 1 second. I gotta see if they posted anything yet. Let's go here. Here. It's tonight the 1st. No. They haven't posted any photos from tonight's SmackDown yet. But as we move on, yeah, Charlotte helps Shotsy. So maybe this leads to Charlotte and Shotsy versus Damage Control next week. If it was already announced, I didn't see any of that. Like I saw, I stepped out and then I came back in and like, oh, next week's show, and I was like, oh, I didn't see any of that because I use the Fox Sports app. You can't rewind. So we go into our main event. And it's Solo Sikoa versus AJ Styles. Sikoa had his graphic entrance on the screen and it said with Paul Heyman, even though Paul Heyman. Wait, what did I write here? Oh, okay, never mind. So the two, very aggressive. I loved the intensity of this match. Best match of the show by far. Also, this show felt short. Like, this show felt like it sped through, and it felt short. Like, it did not feel 2 hours at all. The two were very aggressive early on, and Solo got the best of Styles. Styles then did come back and try to body slam on Solo, but Styles couldn't get him up. As a result, Sikoa slammed Styles, and Styles hit a high roundhouse kick. But he didn't really get much off of it. Paul Heyman then finally came out and distracted Styles. Before long, Styles hit a phenomenal forearm on Sikoa, who was on the outside, and the show went into a commercial break. Back from the break, Sikoa had control and ran Styles into the ring post. Sikoa hit a belly-to-belly suplex for a 2. Sikoa landed a high back body drop. Sikoa then set up for the Samoan strike, but Styles countered with the Pele kick. Styles hits a drop kick on Sikoa's knee and lifted Sikoa, but Sikoa countered with a wild Samoan drop. Got a near fall off of it, but AJ does kick out. Sikoa then ran at Styles, but Styles moved and elbowed Sikoa before landing a moonsault for a good-looking near fall. Styles then went for a Styles clash, but Sikoa placed Styles on the apron. Styles set up for a phenomenal forearm, and Jimmy Uso would appear and hit Styles off the ropes. Sikoa landed a Samoan spike and pinned AJ to pick up the victory. Then, as Solo's getting to his feet, Jimmy runs in and hugs his brother from behind. Well, Solo didn't like that. He grabs Jimmy like he's going to hit him with a spike, and Paul Heyman's like, no, stop, put him down, let's go. So Paul Heyman, the handler, saves Jimmy's ass and gets old Solo out of there. Solo left the ring, and then Jimmy super kicks AJ. Jimmy then hit a splash on AJ from the top and did the bloodline gesture to Solo, looking right at him as the show goes off the air. So I assume this might lead to Jimmy and AJ next week. I don't know. Also, since Saturday in the chat says it was announced for next week, Shotsy and Charlotte versus Bayley and Io. All right, thanks for that. I didn't see that. So yeah, that there, ladies and gentlemen, was Friday Night SmackDown. Overall, not a bad show. For a regular SmackDown, I enjoyed it a lot. For just a show, could have been better. Really could have been better. Or, no, I take that back. For a go-home show, could have been better. For a go-home show, could have been better. For an actual, just regular SmackDown, it was good. But with that, one second. But yeah, SmackDown was good for the most part. We'll see where it goes from here going forward. We have the Payback pay-per-view tomorrow. 6 matches so far announced. On that show, we do have Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus in a steel cage match. We have the tag team titles on the line in a street fight. Yeah, Steel City street fight. The world title is going to be on the line when... So the street fight is Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn against the Judgment Day. Seth Rollins is defending the world title against Nakamura. LA Knight versus The Miz. Ray versus Theory for the U.S. title. And then Ripley versus Rodriguez for the Women's Championship. So 6 matches announced for the show. But as far as all that does go, we will have a preview in the morning giving you the final betting odds, my predictions, Telling you everything you could expect. But with that, guys, now we go check the polls. See what you guys thought of tonight's Friday Night Smackdown. As far as the Twitter poll does go, let's refresh that really fast. 65% liked the show, 25% thought it was just all right, and 9% did not like it. Looking here at YouTube community poll, 83% thought it was just all right. Nobody thought it was. No. I take that back. 83% liked it, and 17% didn't like it. Nobody thought it was just all right. I did start that poll late, though, so that one's not really accurate. Looking at the YouTube live poll, that's an accurate poll. 72% liked the show, 26% thought it was just all right, and 2% didn't like it. Shalu Sony says, who's your favorite wrestler? Bryan Danielson, Kevin Owens. Those are my two favorite. Like current wrestlers. All time, grew up as a kid loving Stone Cold Steve Austin. Then when Stone Cold retired, I transitioned to a Randy Orton fan forever. Big Randy Orton fan. Thought he was the greatest. And then Bryan Danielson, Kevin Owens. It's the Ring of Honor guys. Bryan Danielson, Kevin Owens, and CM Punk. Those are my three favorite current wrestlers. So, yeah. With that, guys, I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, we'll be back live tomorrow night following WWE Payback, and then we'll be back live Sunday night following AEW All Out. So because Payback is tomorrow, there's not going to be a Collision review. And there's not going to be a Collision review Monday because I'm not going to review a show from Saturday before the pay-per-view. So we're not doing any sort of Collision review. If news does come out of Collision, I will report that news. So just a heads up there. With that, guys, have a great rest of your night. I'm going to be streaming a little bit later, twitch.tv/TimmyBuddy. We're going to play some Disney Speedstorm. May jump into something else, not quite sure, but we're going to hang out over there in just a little bit. Twitch.tv/TimmyBuddy. With that, guys.